everybody, it's Colette Baron-Reid. How are you? Oh my gosh, it's April. I'm so excited. We are now into the true astrological new year, and a lot is going on. So we've also decided to start bringing in a brand new format for these readings for the month ahead, especially because we kind of need a little bit more hands-on navigating week by week. So I'm going to be doing a 12-card reading, and what I'll do is do 3 cards per week. The point of this is like a weather report, knowing things can change, but I'm looking at the likely reality that is already in motion towards these periods of time. So it is predictive, but it's also going to be prescriptive, and I hope you're going to like it. I think you will. And we are going to be using the new Dreamweaver Oracle deck, which, by the way, thank you all so much. It's been #1 for a while right now, and I'm so grateful in all the categories it's listed in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is my most favorite deck. But I say that about all of them, though, but whatever. It is right now. Let's talk about the first week of April. So we enter the first week of April with one of the cards in the deck that actually tells us that we're leaving something behind and we're moving towards something better. So the first card is called For the Wind That Blows Our Sails. It's card number 26 in the Dreamweaver's Oracle. This particular card is being the anchor card. So remember, I've taken the cards out. So the center card of each one of the weeks is the actual overall theme for the week. So this tells us that there is forward movement and we come out of a slow period, and it is a time for action. I'll read a couple of the lines that I think are pertinent to us for this week. So it says, this is a time for action. Your obstacles have dissolved. You've integrated the deep work you've been doing, and you're on the other side of the dry spell. How wonderful it is now to have the energy. Well, of course, we're going to have the energy because it's Aries. Right? We all have more energy to take the next steps unencumbered by the past. Keep that in mind. If we're taking steps forward encumbered by the past, those aren't the steps we should be taking. So this time of expansion is not one to take lightly or take for granted. Smooth sailing is not always offered to you, especially as you venture into uncharted territory, which we are all venturing into at this time. Now the wind that blows your sails is steady. You feel the hand of the divine next to yours on the wheel. Trust that. Stay in touch with that partnership. That's our action, right? Stay awake and aware, as waves can come up out of nowhere and likely will. You must have confidence that you're sailing in the right direction for you towards a destiny that will flourish. Go the distance. So this is our first message for the month of April. In this first week, we are also looking at 2 things. These are the aspects of this. So this one here is if the fox can't find his tail. It reminds us not to compromise. So if we've been compromising out of fear, if we have been, it's card number 11, by the way, in the Dreamweaver's Oracle, if we have been making choices to get along, just to get along, and it's not really what we feel authentically, or we're behaving in a codependent way, or etc., or we've actually been trying to force something or control an outcome, that's not going to work for us this week. So you have to remember, if you're chasing your tail, the fox can't find his tail, it's because you are scrambling and you're not coming from an authentic place. That's okay, because you can always start again. That's what the point of this is. We always get a second chance, a third chance, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. So the other card that flanks it tells us why. Because it says, if the river flows this way, I'm pointing at the card number 4. My favorite artistic card in the deck. It was the first one that Joel sent me, and I went nuts, and I was like, you're the right guy. Anyway, so this is all about trusting that there is a natural flow and divine intelligence with the way things are going. Hard to actually trust that, given that there's so much chaos and apparent uncertainty in the world, but that's all part of the plan. So we have to remember that, going where the river flows, recognizing, yes, on the shoreline, there may be a lot going on here, but I need to trust that I'm in alignment. And when we keep a conscious contact to a higher power, and we trust the next right action, and we know that the abundance of the universe has not disappeared because of chaos and disruptions or anything like that, we will then remember, one step at a time, following the way the river flows. Even if it takes a bend and goes over some rapids, we're still going in the right direction. Our boats will not capsize, okay? So now let's take a look at the next week. So now let's take a look at the cards for week number 2. So the cards for week number 2 begin with when it's time to say goodbye. All right. So if those of us are still hanging on to our old ideas, hoping to see change, which doesn't happen, remember the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. All right. We're all impacted by this statement right now. So being open to new things and letting go. They see this little I think it's called an acetocal. I forget how to say this correctly. It's this little sea creature that's looks very adolescent-like, and it's holding on to the tail of the dragon, the water dragon. And so we need to let go the comfort of the past in order for us to progress forward, which was promised to us in week 1 of April, right? So I'm going to read a little bit of card number 32 from the Dreamweaver's Oracle. It's completions, endings, new beginnings, and sometimes loss. When it's time to say goodbye, it's time to end one way of being and move to a new chapter in your life. This can be accompanied by some pain because you have to say goodbye to someone you love, someone who's meant something to you, something important. You may not want to let go, but you must face the loss and the grief and bless what was. And sometimes it's just literally that saying goodbye to a way of thinking can sometimes feel like painful. And other times it's necessary you purposely put an end to something. Perhaps you need to walk away from something unhealthy to be true to yourself, or perhaps a connection has run its course. It doesn't have to be dramatic, right? That's the point. You're meant to be doing this. You can be sure it is time, week 2 in April, for a different experience, a more aligned, authentic way for you to be in the world. You have come so far, so be brave and bless all that has come before now. Who will you become? Well, so much magic awaits. So if that is the core of week 2, then what flanks it is these 2 cards will tell us what either hinders or helps us, right? So this one is number 8, could it be a dragonfly? And that is all about signs. So if we trust the signs, like we're never alone. When we are open and aware to how consciousness with a capital C operates in our world, we start to see signs that we're on the right track. The more we pay attention to where we want to go or where we're inspired to go, we see more of that. Remember, an inspiration in itself has a blueprint for success built right into it, which is what I teach in my Spirit of Your Business course, which is coming up. Anyway, so here we go. Could it be a dragonfly? For example, a dragonfly is a sign for me, it may not be for you, but the signs that you need are going to come to you. Now, on the other hand, what the sunbeams have to show, that's card number 18 in the Dreamweaver's Oracle, that's all about illumination. So it's not like we have to go blind, like we're being told, let go, and like just jump into the uncharted waters, which could be super deep and we don't know. It's not what it's saying at all. It says here, when the sunbeams have to show, there's a line in the actual guidebook that talks about seeing the staircase revealed and illuminated one step at a time. You don't get the whole staircase, and you don't need the whole staircase. You just need to know what to do next. So in the second week of April, if you listen deeply to what the world is calling for you to continue to pursue and to move forward on, etc., and to let go of, which is also hugely impactful here. I think that's what the cards are really saying to us, is that we can trust that. We really can trust that. And there is a lot of letting go. And yes, like nobody promised us, roses without thorns, all right? Like nobody promises that. There is equally the beautiful bloom as there are the thorns. That's a new word. I made up a new word on the stalk, right? It's just the way it is. But we're in a phenomenal adventure. And this month, in the month of Aries, where all that beautiful new energy starts, the pioneer sign of the zodiac, the me, I am, how do I need to be in order to be in right relationship with everyone else? This is going to come up for us, this month. It's good. It's really, really good. Again, the letting go piece is the key. All right, now the next week, this is week 3 of our wonderful month of April. We're still in Aries. Now, here's what's interesting here. And if you hear a Sasquatch sigh, is card number 7. And that is, again, from the Dreamweaver's Oracle. I'm going to look it up. This is pretty cool. My phenomenal partner and actually friends in Santa Fe all believe they've seen Sasquatch. So I'm like, okay, we'll put a Sasquatch in there. Because I was like, Sasquatch, I don't know if I want to have a Sasquatch in the deck, but they believed. And I was like, okay, I hear your stories and I believe you. So the card is, if you hear a Sasquatch sigh, you forgot your own magic. You're basically in spiritual narcolepsy. That's what this card is. So it's warning us in week 3 in April not to look at the outer world to tell us if we're okay or not. We don't have to wait till everybody outside us behaves. Nothing needs to happen outside of us for us to feel grounded, secure in our relationship with spirit, and trusting, even if there are moments where we are questioning that trust. It says, you must remember your own magic because you are in a partnership with the divine. So here it says here, this is about spiritual narcolepsy, seeing through the lens of separation, me against you, right? Competition, arrogance, ego, and narrow-mindedness. Well, we don't want that to be happening to any of us this April. Remember, 3rd week of April, pay attention. So it says, if you hear a Sasquatch sigh, know that they are sad because you've fallen into the trap of spiritual narcolepsy. You've forgotten your partnership with the universe and instead are working through your ego. You think you see clearly, but you might be temporarily blinded to the magic in the world. Perhaps you're comparing yourself with others, or perhaps you are seeing through the lens of lack, limitation, and scarcity, and therefore thinking there isn't enough or that you are not enough. In this moment, you're being called to wake up and remember the inherent divinity in all things, all experiences, all events, and in people. Perhaps you can't see the magic and mystery because you've lost faith, you've stopped believing, or you've become hypnotized, this is a big one, by temporary outer conditions that present as rigid or fixed. Because we think when there's a problem, there's always going to be a problem. When there's, loss, it's always going to be our experience. That's not true. We're stories in motion. They're a continuum. You may feel an overwhelming weight and responsibility on your shoulders to make things happen. Yes, life can be hard, unfair, reliable, exhausting, irrational, and chaotic. Hell yeah, right? So, but none of these things are permanent and they're not even personal. Remember, all things must change and you are now and always have been a conduit for miracles. It's time to reorient yourself and trust that spirit has a plan. Big. Now, what flanks this? Beautiful. So here's what's interesting. So all is calm upon these shores, which is card number 29. That's about meditation and prayer. So what will help us get out of spiritual narcolepsy is actually a practice. This is a practice of deep meditation, of letting go of the external world. And even if it's only for 5 minutes a day, it really will help us. This is a thing to remind ourselves, like, okay, there is a whole other dimension of reality here that I can't see. Just like you can't see gravity, you can't see oxygen, you can't see radio waves, you can't see that the hidden realms are acting and coming to our aid at all times. It's just not in the time we want it to, the way we want it to, exactly how we want it to. But things are progressing whether we can't see it or not. So now here, and for some of us, it might be progressing. I don't want to only go towards the quote unquote more negative, but it's because of the first card that said that many of us might be falling asleep at the wheel. So, or just to be careful of that. And also to recognize other people might be behaving that way and it's not personal either. So all the willows know your name is a beautiful, 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 beautiful card to flank this because it says stand up and be true to yourself. I'm going to read a little bit from that. That's card number 13. Being witnessed and seen by another, being understood, the flexibility of healthy relationships and interdependence. It's such a beautiful feeling to know that you're seen by another or by a whole community. When you are known, accepted, and witnessed, you have a wonderful sense of connection and communication. You feel the grounded safety of belonging. Know that right now you are seen, witnessed, respected, appreciated, and accepted. You don't have to look for approval, for you already have it. Remember, you shine on behalf of the divine. Isn't that amazing that all the willows know your name? Doesn't that feel good? This is really about being witnessed in your community and also getting out of the house, right? That's the other thing, is like allowing yourself to be seen. You are a conduit for the divine, just like anybody else on this planet. It doesn't matter. Don't compare yourself to others or the value of your contribution, even if you think it's tiny. It's really important, really important. You are the magic. Right? That's what you got to remember. And last but not least, the week 4. Now remember week 4. We're going out of Aries now, and we've had, full moon, new moon. We've been through some big lunations this month too. Now we're entering into Taurus. We're in the last week of April. Interesting because in the center it says in the middle of the bridge, right? So that's we're not there yet card. Okay, so card number 15, I'm going to read a little bit of that, but it also reminds us that nobody has all the answers. Like, so if you lean towards one or lean towards the other, you still need to learn from the other, right? So this is about being in that center of the bridge and understanding that there's a lot to learn and you don't have the answers. And nobody else does either. It's a learning phase that everyone is going through. So, and it also brings us into that concept of different viewpoints and experiences, compassionate listening, and trying to meet in the middle. It's a brilliant moment for creative endeavors that will surely surprise you as you meet the divine halfway across the divide, the great divide. This is a time for innovation too. Allow these innovative ideas, new perspective to expand your heart. This is a beautiful moment of exchanging gifts for the highest good. In the middle of the bridge, just know how truly blessed you are. And it does say here too that sometimes you can get stuck seeing the world in a particular way. Maybe you've been trained, indoctrinated to see things from a specific vantage point due to your past experiences. After all, society conditions us in the same way, encouraging us to follow the trodden path of this is how we do things. And this is actually saying, you know what? Maybe it's time to innovate and do something different. Now, flexibility and adaptability this is my other favorite card. Number 35, all the threads of fate must bend. And on the other one, which is hysterical because this is a card that all the shoes fell from the sky. This is the Chicken Little card. So we're going to talk about this. So remember, innovation, that's a bit scary because that's asking us to get out of our comfort zone. The theme of Taurus is things about tangibility, money, property, what we can expect, that the tangibility of our lives, wealth, all of those kind of things are subject matters of Taurus. Food, things like that. That could be coming up for all of us this last week of April. So, what do I need to be flexible on? I'll read a couple of things from card number 35 as well. So card number 35, being flexible, cultivating resilience and adaptability. There is no such thing as a situation that is perfectly set in one state of being, hence why we're in the middle. Nothing difficult and painful ever remains that way, and nothing joyous and free will remain in that same expression forever either. Basically, it's a different form of going with the flow. It's actually asking us to be more adaptable to changing circumstances. The threads must bend and move as they are pliable and supple, not meant to be rigid sticks. And life is the same way. Imagine the weaving of the threads of fate in the tapestry of life, right? A thread is a flexible thing. The last thing, it says, let go of assumptions. Be present to this beautiful opportunity offered to you right now. Fate has brought you to this moment, but destiny will be what you make it to mean. So here is a card that warns us about how to think about things stepping into the last week of April. And this is a card that tells us that, if we are afraid and start to behave out of fear and start choosing our behaviors and our choices because we're afraid of something or we're afraid of what something might mean, we are projecting all kinds of meaning onto something that may not mean what we think it means. So it's like waiting for the other shoe to drop, the expectation of failure or loss, and it ends up to be a means of self-sabotage, okay? And it also can be, too, that you might be afraid of success or that you, in fact, may not trust your good fortune when the rest of the world looks like it's cut upside down. So this card gently tells you it's time to shift your thinking. Nothing will ever be perfect. There will always be a shoe that drops here and there. That's life. If you don't step forward towards your dream, you're going to regret it. So summon your courage, and the Dreamweavers will weave their magic and of protection around you and shower you with love. All the shoes may fall from the sky in some other universe, but not in yours. And so this is how we have to be very conscious moving into the fourth week of April, that outer conditions or stories that we hear or events that are going on don't bring us into that fear-based thinking and behavior and choice making, which we are going to regret later on. So be mindful, innovate, slow movements, adaptability, trust, and think before you act. Oh, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I have. I think this is the way we're going to do it moving forward. And I want to tell you about something because over the past few months, I have been receiving so many. I'm like overloaded with business-related questions inside my Oracle Circle membership community and from many of you. And I am excited to announce that I have a free training series in the works that I cannot wait to share with you later this month. It's a peek into my practical and proven way to incorporating an imaginative, spirit-driven approach to your business so you can achieve personal and professional fulfillment. But for those of you that are eager to start blending business with metaphysics right now, I am also offering a free download today called How to Make Executive Decisions Using Oracle Cards. It is packed with insights and strategies that you can apply to your decision-making process like a boss right away. So to download it for free, go to ColetteBaron-Reid.com/boss and keep an eye out in your inbox for my special announcement at the end of April. You will not want to miss out on this exciting opportunity to transform your business with spirit.